Hey guys, welcome back to another What Sold video. Today we're going to go over what sold from April the 30th to May the 11th. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with this Vera Bradley purse. So this Vera Bradley is actually a retired print. And I was just so happy because we found it with tags. And so that was pretty crazy. This one, we bought it on March the 30th of this year, and then it sold on April the 30th, so it took a month to sell. We sold it on eBay for $37.70, which was the total, and then we paid marketplace fees of $6.51. And then we it actually cost us $8, $7.99, and then we profited $18.63 on this one. So this one was just amazing. I was pretty impressed that they only had it for $8 at the thrift store, because usually when it's Vera Bradley, they price it up very high. But yeah, so this one we just pretty much posted Vera Bradley retired wildflower garden pattern trifold wallet. But that was really good there. Let's see here. The next one we have, this actually is one of the items that I mentioned on the previous video that we sold. It was kind of part of another like harness that we bought. So this one, it was just literally, we separated the harness from this. This is like a rope for like rock climbing. And then it has that carabiner as well. So the actual value here is on this rope, on the actual rope. It's a brand that's called, so it's a Jane, I guess that's kind of like the type of rope. But this one is called Petzl Unisex Jane. I think that's an I single lanyard. And so the value pretty much is on the actual rope, but we just added the carabiner with it. It already came with it, so we just left it there. But that one is also a decent brand. It's called Black Diamond. And so be on the lookout for stuff like this, because sometimes, you know, we don't realize that stuff like this can be worth money. And this one, we bought it on April the 4th. It sold on May the 1st on eBay for $51.25. That was the total. And then we, the cost of goods was $5. And then we profited $28.36. So that was pretty good. It sold relatively quickly there. And then this next one is actually a Josh find. I honestly, when I saw it too at the thrift store, but I didn't even think about like getting it. This one is a, let me see here. Martha Stewart Collection Carved Pumpkin Tureen with ladle soup. So this one, I guess, is kind of like a cute little pumpkin there too. It's not little, it's actually big, but it's a pumpkin so that you can put soup or, you know, fruit punch, whatever you want to put in there. But it has a really good value. It's actually Martha Stewart Collection Covered Pumpkin. So, I mean, it has a really good value. Josh paid $7.50 for it. I think it was on sale when he bought it. And we listed it on March the 23rd. And then it sold on May the 1st on eBay. And the total price was $110. So that was like the total sold price there. So that was amazing. And I believe this one was actually going outside of the country too. So even better, because we were like, if something happens to it, we obviously packaged it really well, but we were like, if something happens to it, we're not going to be liable. eBay can take care of that, right? That is the beauty of selling like outside of the country. And then, so the cost of goods was $7.50, and then we profited $49.95, which was just amazing. Let's see here, the next item. So this one was just a small Coach fragrance little bag. So this one, I actually bought it together with like 3 other keychains that I have bought from a lady locally on the Facebook marketplace. But I decided to separate it because I saw that it was selling separate as well. This one, I don't think we made that much money on it, but you know, it was still something. We listed this one on January of 2025. And then it sold on May the 1st. So it took like 9 months to sell. I remember though, we did get like a lot of, we did get a couple offers and stuff. And some people who even bought it. But like, I think it was on eBay. Yeah, they bought it, but then they never, well, they sent us an offer and they never paid. So, and, you know, it's just, I thought it was going to sell before that, but it's okay. So we sold it for $15.55. Cost of goods, we just averaged it to $2. And then our profit was $6.48 for this one. So just a little bread and butter there. And then next we have some shorts here. This is a linen supplies women's linen blend shorts. Linen it just sells really, really good for us. So we love to sell linen. Every time I find linen, no matter what the brand is, usually it'll sell really good. Like even if it's just, you know, $25 shorts, I will still pick it up because it'll sell. Especially, you know, we pretty much know that by the summer it'll sell. I get a lot of it though in the winter, so usually I'll hold onto it, and I know that it's pretty much gonna sell until the summer, but that's fine. Like this one we bought it on December 5th of 2024, so pretty much the winter, and then we sold it right now, May the 2nd, on eBay for $23.43. We probably took an offer on that one, and then the the cost of goods was only $2. We profited $11.61. So that's more of a like bread and butter for us. Next, we have this really cool like is it sun catcher? No, it's a vintage celestial art glass votive candle holder. So this one I actually found it at a thrift store, and I just thought it was really cool. It's metal, and then it has this really thick glass that is, it has like a sun on it. And I just thought it was really nice. I was like, somebody's gotta, you know, at least somebody's gonna want it for at least $20, you know. So I was like, I'm gonna list it for at least 20 and see. But we actually listed it for higher. We listed it for higher because we saw other comps. We listed it on April the 29th, and it sold on May the 2nd on eBay for $39.99. That was the total. And then our cost of goods was only $6, and then we profited $18.89. So that was pretty good. I'm kind of, you know, getting like things that usually we don't get, like things that are either unique or things that are made out of like wood, metal, glass, things that are substantial that I know for sure they're worth, you know, more than $25. And usually we've been having a lot of luck with that. So I'm just loving that part because I really love to sell things. But, you know, usually I'm scared because if I don't find something like exactly the same, I'm scared to pick it up because I don't know how well it's going to do. And I don't want to be just holding a bunch of random things. But so far we've been doing good. I'm pretty happy with what we've been picking up. Next, we have this vintage JH Collectibles Women's 100% Linen Button-Up Vest. This one, I believe we got it at the Goodwill bins. I think it was in the winter as well. This is what the tag looks like. And we got it November 25th of 2024. It sold on May the 2nd on eBay for $24.91. So we didn't sell it for that much. But like I said, usually linen stuff, especially if it's not like a really recognizable brand, it'll still sell for us like a bread and butter. And then we only paid $2 for this. And then the profit was $12.45 for this. All right, next we have this vintage Pat Farm men's denim jeans. This one's, I didn't even know Josh got this ones, but I was like unsure, but I guess he knows like those type of like brands. I remember growing up, these brands were like, you know, like they were the ones that people were like, you know, using and stuff, but I just don't really, I don't know. I just feel like I'm not going to be using that anymore. So I just automatically feel like nobody's going to be using them, but I guess that's what's in right now. So he went ahead and picked this up. We bought these ones on July the 24th of last year. They sold on May the 3rd on eBay. And then for $30.90, we paid $3.34, and then we profited $14. So this is how they look. They had like orange underneath there, and they had like some rips all over. And then let me see the back here. This is how the back looks. So Pat Farm seems to be a good brand. Next we have this Nike men's Pro Combat short sleeve dry fit t-shirt. So Pro Combat usually sells really well for us. It's also like a bread and butter for us, but it sells relatively quickly. So we always pick it up when we find it, especially we only get it for like, you know, $6 or $5. We pick it up. Sells really good for us. This is how the tag there looks. And then, so this one, we listed it on August 26th of 2024. And then it sold on May the 3rd on eBay. It sold, let me see, for $24.44. We paid $5.98 for this, and then we profited $9.37. All right, and then the next item here, this is an item that I actually got from a family member. It didn't fit me, so I went ahead and just put it for sale. This one's a Soma woman's long sleeve dress, size X small. So that is a very small size, so I just didn't, usually we don't do that really good with like really small sizes. So we don't typically pick up that type of clothing, but this one, since it was given to us, we just went ahead and listed it. And this one, we listed it on December the 5th of 2024, and then it sold on May the 4th on Poshmark for $22. So I think this was an offer. They probably offered me like 20 or something, I don't know. And then we profited $15.60 for this. So this one was pretty good. I was pretty surprised because we still profited a decent amount. We actually profited more from this one than even the Nike one that I just showed you guys. So not that bad. And next we have this On Air. It's like it says Sescom, the audio source, Air triple-sided studio light. So I guess it's kind of like for recording or something, like it turns that light on whenever like they're live or something. And this one, I found it at a thrift store. This one, I remember it didn't have a price on it, and whenever you go to that thrift store and it doesn't have a price, they're so mean. They literally won't give you a price, and you will have to wait until like the next day for them to bring it out and put a price on it. So, you know, pretty much I'm not going to pick it up anymore because I'm not going to be there the next day just to pick that up. But the lady was so nice that day that she actually gave me a price for it. So I was so happy, especially because she didn't charge me that much for it. So this one, it just had a really good sell-through rate. And I was like, I'm just going to bite the bullet and ask them and see if they will price it for me, because most of the time they won't do it. But she did. So I was happy about that. So this one, we listed on April the 7th, and then it sold on May the 3rd on eBay for $53.05. We paid $10 for this, and we profited $20.21. And this is how it looks like. This one, I'm not really sure about like pre-owned condition. This one, we pretty much sold it as a new open box. I'm not really sure how they do in pre-owned condition. They probably do good as well, but obviously you're not gonna profit as much. Maybe like you could list it for like $25 to $30 used, but pretty good profit on that one. And then let me see here. The next one. So this next one was actually one of my baby's shoes. So I just put it for sale because this brand actually does really good for us. So this is a brand, Stride Right, baby summertime leather sandals and soft motion jazzy sneakers. So you'll be surprised. This sandals right here, this brand is very expensive. Like if you were to go to like, I don't even know if they sell it at Macy's. What's the other one? Dillard's. Yeah, Dillard's. They sell it at Dillard's. And they're like $60 for a little pair of shoes. Like, it's incredible. So this one's, I actually got them at a thrift store. So they only, I think this one right here, was it this one here? One of them, no, I think it was another pair. I'm confusing it. But this one's, I think we just got them for like $3 each. Yeah, like $3 each. And so I lotted them together because they were the same size. We sold them on Poshmark. We listed them April the 8th. We sold them on May the 4th. For $25 for both of them. And then this one doesn't have the cost of goods, maybe because it was ours. So we probably pay like $3, but usually if it's something that it was for me and then I resell, pretty much consider that as like free because I got some use out of it, you know. But so it says we profited $20 from this. And then next, let me see what else we got. Okay, so next we have this. This is just a cheap like doorbell wireless camera. It says X9 smart wireless doorbell remote control smart video camera. So this one, I think we got it like at the bins, you know, like the Amazon return bins. I'm pretty sure that's where we got it. And this one, it says we listed it on April the 8th, and then we sold it on May the 4th. We sold it on Whatnot for $14.95. We paid $1 and then we profited $11.84. So that was pretty good. And this is how it looks. It's not that big of a deal. I think when we picked it up, we thought it was something better at the time. And that's why we got it, because otherwise we wouldn't have picked it up. And so this next one, guys, is a Wrangler men's long sleeve pearl snap plaid shirt. This one's a small size. That's weird. We usually don't pick up small sizes unless we get them like at the bins or something, like unless it's like a really good deal. But I do see here actually we paid a lot, so I think we probably just took a chance on this one. This is probably Josh, and so this one we picked it up on, we listed it on January. And I'm sorry guys, I'm laughing because he's right next to me. He's right next to me, and so he just looked at me like, why are you saying that? But we got it on January the 23rd of 2024, so that was quite a while ago. So I think was like way before we even cared that much about the sell-through rate. So I guess I'm not gonna say anything about it because, you know, we make mistakes, we live and we learn. So and then we sold it on May the 5th on eBay for $20.12. This one was horrible, guys. We paid $6.98 for it, and then we profited $2.26. That's horrible. But you know, what are we gonna do? Sometimes we win, sometimes we don't. But you know, at the end of the day, we make so much money from doing this that it kind of all pays off. You know, it kind of all balances off. So I'm okay with that. It's fine. We now know not to pick up small size Wranglers. So this is what it looks like for what it's worth. But there you go. And then let me see here the next item. This one is a vintage Joe's A. Banks men's 100% camel hair blazer. So this one, we got it at a thrift store. I don't think we've had this one for that long, actually. And then, let me see here. Let me show you what it looks like here. The material was just so good. We just couldn't pass on it. We weren't like 100% sure about like how much it would sell for because these soles were like all over the place. This one says it's made in Haiti. But so this one we listed it on February the 21st of 2025. So it was kind of already late in the, you know, in the winter. And so I'm surprised it sold on May the 5th because, you know, it's pretty much already in it's summer already. So, you know, but it's okay. We sold it for $44.89, and then it cost us $6, and then we profited $21.30. So that was great. The next item here, this one, guys, this is just a permanent makeup. Like, I think these are needles. Yeah, this one was a horrible buy. This was one like, I think this one was from like the beginning. This right here, I think we just relisted it or something. I don't think it's correct that we got it on May the 10th of 2024. Or maybe, I mean, I'm not sure. I just know that we had it for a long time and they were just not selling. But this ones, we sold them on May the 5th on eBay for $14.39. We paid 63 cents, it says. So yeah, because I remember back then we used to go to this like Amazon return bins where they would actually have a day where it was like a whole bag full of stuff, you know, like the IKEA bags, the blue bags, full of stuff for $20. So I think that was one of the times we got this. And, you know, we just want to fill up the bag. So we just started getting irrational things. But anyway, so we only profited $5.99, which is, you know, at least it sold. But let's move on. So the next one, this is an LRL Lauren Jeans Co. woman's blouse. This one, it had print all over the place. So I think this is why we got it. And also, usually we do pretty well with that brand. It usually sells like a bread and butter for us. This is what the tag looks like. It wasn't anything like special. It was 100% cotton. So I guess a lot of people do like 100% cotton. We listed it on January 5th of 2025, and then it sold on May the 6th on eBay. We sold it for $22.28, which was the total price. And then we paid $139. So we probably bought this one at a thrift store or at the Goodwill bins, actually. Yeah, probably at the Goodwill bins. And then we profited $11.02. So that was good. And the next, let me just go ahead and go to the next page here. All right, let me go to the bottom. Okay, so next we have these Free People women's wide leg pull-on pants. This ones I got them at a yard sale. It was just a really crazy haul that day. The guy just had really good clothing. Like, I don't know if he was a reseller himself, but It was just amazing. So I ended up picking this up. This one was in the size small as well. But you know how Free People is? They usually like the sizes run pretty big. So I mean, I took a chance on them because they look pretty big. I'm like, I think that somebody that wears like a medium, even a large, they can still wear this. But these ones are Free People women's wide leg pull-on pants. This ones, we listed them on April the 12th, and then they sold on May the 6th on Poshmark for $40. And we paid $4 for this, and we profited $28. So that was amazing. Next, we have this Callaway men's Opti Dry Golf polo shirt. We do really good with Callaway, especially if it has a print. Especially if it has a print, we do really, really well. This one, we got it at a yard sale. We bought this one. We listed it on May the 4th, and it sold really quickly. It sold within 2 days. So on the 6th of May, it sold on eBay for $33.18 was the total price. We paid $5, and then our profit was $18.09. So that was great. The next one, this was a thrift store find. Vevor alternating air pressure mattress, 5-level. This one, I remember when I bought it, I wasn't too sure about it. It's actually one of our previous videos there. And I just wasn't too sure because there was like solds all over the place. But what sold it for me was that it was brand new in the box. So we sold it as open box. So this one, we listed it on April the 25th. It sold on May the 6th on eBay for $59.54. We paid $6 for this, and then we profited $28.75. So, I mean, that was pretty good, actually. I think this is like a bed for like when people are like bedridden. I think that is kind of like to prevent sores and stuff. So, I mean, that's a really important, you know, artifact to use, I guess, for, you know, when you're in that situation. And next we have this Peanuts Snoopy wall clock. This one, Josh found it at a thrift store. We bought this one on February the 18th. We were pretty surprised because this one had a really good sell-through rate. So it was pretty surprisingly that it took this long to sell. We sold it on May the 7th. We did get some offers though, but they were really low ball offers. So I think that's why, you know, it's part of why it took longer to sell. But it sold on eBay for $29.65. And we paid $5. We profited $11 on this one. This is what it looks like. I'm not really sure. This is like a collectible item or something like that. But they were desirable for some reason there. Okay. Let me see here the next item. Oh, my favorite items. So this is a Verizon Fios E3200 Wi-Fi 6 tri-band range extender. This ones, guys, I've talked about them in our previous videos. They just do really good for us. So this one's, yeah, we picked up a bunch of them and we sold them all already. Yeah, today actually one of the last ones that we had that didn't have a power cord just sold. So I think we still have one actually. We still have one, but that one is like brand new in the box. And we are asking like $300 for that one. So it's understandable that it hasn't sold as quickly, but let me see which one this one. So this one was on May the 6th. So we listed it on March the 26th, sold May the 6th on eBay for $134. We paid $8 for this, and then we profited $96.03, which is amazing. This is what it looks like. They kind of look like humidifiers. Let me see here the back. But they're Wi-Fi extenders. That is definitely a bolo there. Next we have here this Banana Republic men's chino pants. So this one's, I don't think we had them for that long actually. Let me show you guys what the tag looks like. 8-inch chino. We listed this ones on November the 14th of last year. It sold on May the 7th on Poshmark for $18. We did pay $5 for them, and then we profited $9.40. So that's another bread and butter for us. All right, next up we have this Tasso Elba silk linen. Oh, silk and linen blend. That's nice. So with silk and linen, we do really good. So especially if it's a mix, that's great. Silk does better, I think, for us than even... Actually, I think linen does better for us. I don't know. They both do really good for us. But this one, we listed it on December the 12th of last year. We sold it on May the 7th on Poshmark for $22. We paid $2 for this and we profited $15.60. And this is what it looks like. It does have a print. So we pretty much, if it has a print and then it has the linen or it has a silk, is, you know, pretty much we pick it up. Especially if you combine it with being a size large and above. This one was a medium, actually. So I'm kind of contradicting myself, but this was a medium. So, I mean, I guess we still pick them up. if they have a good sell, like we make sure that we also, when we're looking, we also look up the size, because we know that that's kind of like another factor there, that depending on the size too, it means how much money we're going to get for an item. So I guess this one in size medium had a decent sell-through rate, so we picked that one up too. And this one's Tassel Elba Island Men's Silk Linen Blend Hawaiian shirt. All right, this next one, I actually found this one at a thrift store. This one, let me see here. Tri Beauty 2010 Home Permanent Hair Removal Laser. So anytime, guys, you guys see like anything laser, like for beauty stuff, usually look it up, because it'll probably be a good thing to pick up. This one, we listed it on March 26th, and then we sold it on May the 7th on Poshmark for $50. We paid $4 and we profited $36.01. And this is what it looks like. It kind of looks like a hair dryer, but then you realize it doesn't actually like have like the opening of the hair dryer. So that's why I thought it was weird. I was like, what is this? It looked interesting. And then when you see like this part right here, you know, you can kind of tell it's probably for a laser or something, like something that has to do with beauty and skin. So that's why I looked it up. All right, this next one is just a hoodie, a navy Annapolis men's embroidered Ram logo hoodie. This one, I think I picked it up because it was embroidered. And usually when, you know, we find like anything that's embroidered, usually it'll do better than, you know, the not embroidered stuff. It's just higher quality. This one we listed it on January the 7th. This one we actually had it for a long time. That's surprising. So we had it since January the 7th of last year. And it just sold on May the 7th on eBay for $25.46. We paid $2 and then we profited $10.93. And this is what it looks like. This is actually very old, yeah, because the pictures, we don't take pictures like this anymore. We literally used to take pictures of like every inch of the clothing, and we realized we were just wasting our time. Most people probably don't even look at all the pictures. So we've been taking less pictures, but more substantial pictures, like pictures that actually matter, and we've been doing just great. I'm so sorry, guys. So it seems like I actually lost my camera and I didn't even realize that it ran out of charge, but I'm just going to go ahead and do a voiceover here. So this next item is a rebreakable karate board for martial arts. This one we had it since February 26th of 2024 and it sold on May the 7th, 2025. We got it for $1 only, and then we profited $14.37 for this one. All right, guys, this next item, this one, I believe we got it at a thrift store. This one had like a big skull on the front there, and this is why it caught our attention, but it wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't that, you know, that of a great item. We've had it for a long time, since January the 11th of 2024, and we sold it on May the 7th, 2025. We profited $6.44 for this one. This one, we kind of got it because it was vintage, but we had like no idea, you know, if it was going to be a good item or not. It did have a stain right there, so we kind of took all that into account when we listed it. This one is a vintage wing floral skull graphic t-shirt, size 2XL, and it's on a Gildan shirt. All right, next up we have this vintage Polo Ralph Lauren shorts. These ones, we got them at a thrift store some time ago. I thought they were gonna do better actually, but we listed them on August 17th of 2024, and then they sold on May the 7th, and we sold them on Poshmark. We sold them for $20. We paid $5 for this ones, and then we profited $11. So this one's really caught my attention because they had a bunch of sharks all over. So I was like, they're definitely gonna do good just because of the print itself. And this is what they look like. Okay, so this next item, guys. So I was just so like not sure to either to pick this item up or not because when I got this item, this is in the brand Cider. I was trying to do comps and I couldn't find that many comps on them. And I went even to their website to see if like how much their clothes would go for. And I just, the prices that they had were really low. So I was kind of like confused. I'm like, how can they sell for so low? And then I will go on Poshmark and look up their like solds there and they were selling for a decent amount. So I just decided to list it at $25. It's kind of like velvet all over, but it had a really like whimsical look to it. So I just really liked that. And velvet is a good material overall, usually for the winter, but I decided to pick it up anyway, and I'm really glad that it sold. We listed it on April the 7th of this year, and then it sold on May the 8th on Mercari for 24.95. We paid $4 for this and we profited 17.74. And so this brand, I actually picked up another item, the same brand recently, just because this one sold so quickly. And so, we'll see how it keeps doing for us. But so far, it seems like it's a good brand overall. And this is how we listed it: Cider Woman's Velvet Velour, dress size XS, dark blue. So we kind of put a lot of different like style keywords and stuff to get this to move because we just weren't sure if it was going to do that good. This next item, guys, is a catchy black supernova indoor insect trap for mosquitoes. This one we got it a long time ago, January the 29th of 2024. It sold on May the 8th, 2025 on eBay. We sold this for 23.34, and then we did pay $5 and we profited 7.40, which wasn't that great. This was back then when we didn't used to look at the sell-through rate that seriously, so that kind of is kind of why we still have that item there. And then the gloves, guys, I've been talking about about gloves, just picking up, 100% leather gloves or gloves that have cashmere in the lining, anything like that. Anything that has good materials in gloves, usually they do pretty good for us. So this one, we listed it on March the 27th of 2025, and then it sold on May the 8th, 2025 on eBay for 44.41. We only paid $3.99 for it, and we ended up profiting $26.92, which was great. And this is what the brand looks like. We were just so happy because anytime, if especially if you get it brand new with tags, like I would pick it up. If they're very used, I usually leave them unless they're like a really good brand that sell used, for good money. This one actually even had a little hole there. So this one actually has cashmere inside. So we put vintage found woman's genuine black leather gloves, 100% cashmere lining. So I think that's probably why we were able to sell it for a little bit more. We usually sell them for around $30. All right, guys. So this next item was actually a personal item of Josh. This is a Fitbit Blaze Smart Fitness Tracker watch. So he finally got rid of it. He had it in his closet for a long time. And so he decided to list it. We listed it on April the 23rd, and then we sold it on May the 8th for 19.95. And we didn't put anything in the cost of goods because it was ours. And then we profited 17.28 for this. Next up is this Ralph Lauren rugby shirt. So this one we actually had it since December of 2024. We sold it on May the 8th on eBay for 49.31. I believe that was an offer. We paid only $4 and then we profited 31.56. So anytime you see rugby, usually it's gonna do really good. Sometimes it can take a little bit to sell. It just depends. I think we did have this one like price up, and that's why it took longer. It was also a size small, but that's kind of how the tag looks. And I guess it's vintage. It says it could be vintage. I don't know, but and then it did have some really nice embroidered letters there in the front. Not sure what that stands for. It could be the brand. I have no idea. Next, we have this oh my gosh woman's 3/4 wide sleeve tunic top. This one, I was surprised that it took forever to sell because when we bought this one, we actually bought it together with another like bundle of oh my gosh at a yard sale. So I got like, I think it was like two sets of pants and like five shirts. This one, I think it took longer just because it looked kind of plain. I think I could have done a better job taking pictures of this one, but we ended up selling it on November. I'm sorry, we ended up listing it on November 22nd of last year. We sold it on May the 8th, and then we profited 1770 for this one. And this is how it looks. It looks kind of plain, but it actually does have like some openings on the side of the arm there. But I think that's why it took longer because we just didn't have that many like that good of the pictures could have been better. So we would have taken better pictures. I think it would have sold faster. I believe that one also had a little stain, so I think that's why also it took longer. All right, next up we have this handmade Pikachu inspired earrings. These are 925 sterling silver earrings. This was I actually bought them in Mexico on a trip to Mexico. I just got a bunch of them. They actually silver like jewelry. Like you can get it for really good prices in Mexico. And I just decided to kind of experiment with it to see if like how it would do. We didn't profit that much on some of them, but they just been listed for some time already. So we decided to start taking offers on them. These ones are just really really cute. We just put them as handmade Pikachu inspired earrings, just because they're not actually like the from the actual original brand. So they're just handmade earrings. And this ones we listed them on May the 11th of last year, and then one sold on February the 12th of this year, and another one on May the 5th. One on eBay, one on Whatnot. For the one on eBay, we sold it for 25.54. The one on Whatnot, we sold it for 37.10, and then we profited 9.14 for one and 27.32 for the other one. And we actually still have more. Like we picked up a bunch of other like Disney character ones. They're all handmade, so we're still selling more of them in our store. We'll see how those do. And this is what they look like. They're really cute, actually. I'm surprised that they haven't like all sold already. All right, guys. So next up, we have this GI Joe Classified series Python. It's like a toy. This one I forgot where we bought it, but we've had it for a long time. This one says is number 42, a Target exclusive, new in box. So this one we did took an offer and we did pay a lot for it as well. So this was back then we were not checking the sell-through rates. We listed it on February 10th of last year, and then we sold it on May the 8th on eBay for 32.19. We did pay $10 for this one, and then we profited 602. This next one, guys, I was so excited when we sold this one. So we actually just recently started selling on Etsy, and so we were kind of experimenting with the stuff that we were listing. This is a Josh pickup, so he actually did a really good job here. He picked up this. It's called Lapis Lazuli globe. So this one is kind of like all made out of gemstones, and it also has, I believe that it has brass on it as well, and it's like a little jewelry box. And so it had just a lot of things, a lot of factors going into it. So we decided to price it high. There was some similar ones, not exactly, but just similar ones. So because it did have the little jewelry box, we priced it a little bit higher. On Etsy, we're actually able to sell it for a little bit more money. And so this one we listed on April the 19th, and then it sold on May the 9th on Etsy for $230 with 87 cents. We did pay 22.50, and we profited 116.02. As you can see, though, Etsy does charge a decent amount of fees there. We weren't aware of it until actually after we sold this one, but it's okay because I guess you are like automatically entered into like advertisements outside of the website, so you actually have to go in there and manually either opt out of it or not, because they actually will advertise your listings like outside of Etsy, and their prices are pretty steep. um, this next item is a rustic wooden birdhouse, welcome to our cabin woodsy home decor. So this one, we picked it up at a thrift store. It was just a couple bucks. It was just so cute. I couldn't left it behind. This one, we listed it on May the 1st of this year, and then it sold on May the 9th on Etsy. This was actually a bundle. So the guy that bought the globe also bought this together with it. We sold it for $30.85, and then it only cost us $2. We profited $7.34 for this one. And it's just a really cute, little house, like perfect for like a cottage, cabin or something like that. It's just, I was just like, I'm gonna take it, and if not, I'll keep it. But yeah, this was a really good pickup. This next one, guys, is an assistive technology services personal emergency response system. So this is kind of like for like older people. It's kind of like an emergency thing. So if they fall or if they have any kind of emergency, they'll like press on a button and it'll call 911. And so this is kind of like one of those kind of items. So this one's, we actually do really good with emergency things like this, especially if they're like brand new in the box. We do pretty good. This is how it looks like. So it kind of looks like a walkie-talkie, but it's not. And then we listed it on March the 26th of this year, and it sold on May the 9th. We sold it for $78.59, and we profited $48.35 for this one. This next item, guys, is a vintage Fisher Price Little People. So this one is like, I didn't even like, I was so surprised when I found it because I've never found Little People toys like that, but I've heard of them. And I was just so happy that I was able to find it in the box and it was complete, because when I got it, I thought it was incomplete. And I even remember counting it, like counting all the deer. And I thought I was short, but I guess I wasn't. We got home and we realized that it was all good. So I was able to get a really good, return on my investment on this one. So this one, we just, listed it as vintage Fisher Price Little People Twas the Night Before Christmas story set. And this one, we listed it on April 23rd, and then it sold on May 9th. We sold it for $84.96, and then we only paid $3 and we profited $50.63. And this is what it looks like. It's just some really cute little reindeer with Santa Claus and an elf. It's really nice, actually. And it worked as well, so that was another thing. All right, guys, so this next item, this is like a toy gun. This is a vintage Edison Gicatali Italy Jefferson lever action cap rifle. So be on the lookout for like toys like this, because especially if they are very like intricately made, and you see that they're like good materials, metal, things like that, because it can be worth a lot of money. I was surprised. This one was just there. It was actually, I saw it like in different places. It seems like people grabbed it and they just kept moving it around. This is what it looks like. It did have a little bit of like damage, but it wasn't that bad. It was just a little bit of marks around it. We listed this one on April the 28th, and then it sold on May the 10th on eBay. We sold this one for $94.51, guys. This was like the total price. And then we paid $8 for this, and we profited $46.92, which was just amazing. And yeah, just be on the lookout for toys like that. This next item, guys, this is a really cool item. So this is like a plain vintage 1950s Glen Martin B-57 Canberra bomber plane. This one, Josh picked it up. This was so heavy. I like it was, you could tell it was like old and good quality. This one, we listed it on February the 9th, and it sold on May the 10th on eBay. We sold it for $140, and then we only paid $10 for this one. I remember this one was on sale, and we profited $84.60. And then this is what it looks like. It was actually missing a lot of like the stickers there. But they were selling like that. Like there was some that didn't even have any like type of markings, and they were still selling for a lot of money. But I guess this ones actually do come with like a base, but we just didn't have that base, so we couldn't sell it for like the full price that we wanted to. And that is just a filter, so I'm not even going to show you guys that because it's not even worth that much. We've had that for a long time. Next is this Lululemon tank top. This one, we got it at a yard sale some time ago. It actually, it didn't have a size at all. I tried looking for the size everywhere. I couldn't find it. And so we had to just take measurements because I remember we had it for some time and we were just not listing it because we couldn't find the size. So we're just, we just listed it like that and it did ended up selling. So that was really good. This one we listed it on July 31st and then it sold on May the 9th of this year. And we sold it on eBay for $36.08. The cost of goods was only $2 and then we profited $22. Next, we have this is a Chico's like jacket. This is kind of like denim jacket, and it had a bunch of like different like designs all over it. We were just not sure because the print is kind of crazy, but I'm glad that it sold. We did list this one last year, September the 7th. It finally sold on May the 10th for 45, and we only paid $5. We profited like 21.36 on this one. Next up, we have this US polo. So this one, I forgot where we bought this one. It's probably at a yard sale or something because we only paid $2. This one we listed on November 15 and it sold on May the 10th on eBay. We sold it for 21.72 and then we profited 8.47. Usually US polo is kind of like a bread and butter for us, and this is what it looks like. As you can see there, like our pictures, like we drastically now take less pictures than we used to before. And as long as we have all the main pictures, the front, the back, the tag, we have the measurements, and then of course our like SKU number. And we usually do really good. We don't have any issues. Like nobody, usually we don't get any more requests for more pictures. All right, guys. So this was just an amazing find here. This Ralph Lauren purple label men's short sleeve polo shirt. We were just so happy when we found this. I was actually kind of giving Josh a hard time here because he actually did pay a lot for it, but he actually did really good. So this one we listed on May the 6th and it sold on May the 10th. So it literally took like 4 days to sell. We sold it on eBay for $231 and we paid 35 for it, but we profited 139 with 58 cents. It was just amazing. We were just so happy. We were actually getting so much like interest on this shirt and a lot of low ballers, especially because the tag on it, like it has the original tag on it and it said like $150 or something. And so we were like, they wanted to literally give us that much for it. And we were like, no, like, like we're not going to let it go for that price. Like usually people that buy stuff like this, they know what they're doing. Like they know what they're buying, so we just decided to kind of stay firm on the price there. We did took an offer because we were selling it for more, but it was a reasonable offer. And that's what the tag looks like there. It says $125. So yeah, they were pretty out of their minds that we were going to let it go for that much. All right, guys, and that is it for today's video. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.